Welcome back, Fisher people, to another fly tying video from Broken Water Outfitters. It'll be another pattern in our caddis series. Today's pattern I'm going to share with you is the Caddis Pupa pattern that I tie and fish. This is a pattern to use when caddis start to become active and we're getting close to a hatch. Caddis are one of those important insects to fly fishing that are always around, just trying to find the right state that the trout are focusing on at that point. I used to fish several Caddis Pupa patterns. Over the years, I kind of settled on this one. Pretty simple tie, few materials, no crazy techniques. Again, thanks to everybody out there who's subscribing, liking, and sharing these videos. Hope you guys are enjoying them. Hope you're taking something away from them. Rambled on enough. Let me show you this pattern.
Here we're using a Fulling Mill FM 5067 Check Nymph Heavy Black Nickel barbless hook. Start your thread just a couple eye lengths back. Work your thread down the shank. Clip your tag free. Grab about 5 or 6 hackles off of Coq De Leon. Secure those to the top of your shank. Try to keep this tail somewhat short and a little stuffy. Tie that down into the bend of the hook. Pull those tails up a little bit. Take one wrap underneath them just to get them to kind of splay upwards a little bit. Work your thread back up to the starting point. We're going to tie in our dark olive scud back. It can be a little tricky to get this stuff started sometimes. If you cut an angle on the end, it makes it a lot easier to tie in. Get that started about the midpoint on the hook. Put a little pressure on it. And then work your thread down to the base where that tail starts. Make sure you got everything nice and smoothed out. Now we're going to tie in our wire rib. Here we're using a Sculpin olive, size small, ultra wire. We're going to tie that in on the near side of the hook. Again, making sure that we're building the wide profile with this fly. Take your favorite caddis dubbing. Here I'm using some hare's mask dubbing that I cut from a hare's mask myself and blended. I like to use light olive mixed in with a little olive. Gives the fly a nice buggy look. And when you cut your own dubbing and blend it from a hare's mask, you get a lot better product than you do if you're buying stuff out of the package. The size fly when you get a dubbing noodle that's about 2.5 or 3 inches in length. We'll start wrapping that around our shank and moving forward, creating a taper. You want to finish just in front of the midpoint of the hook. Here I didn't use quite enough dubbing, so I have to add a little bit more. Now we're going to pull that scud back up and over the back of the fly, keeping it on top. Take a couple good wraps of thread to secure it. Don't put a ton of stretch into this, but do put a little bit of stretch in it. Pull it tight. Take a couple wraps over top, and then you're going to pull it back over itself and wrap back over everything before you cut it free. Now we're going to take our wire. We're going to make open spiral counter wraps to create some segmentation and hold that scud back in place. If you put too much tension on the wire here, you can move that scud back to one side or the other, so just be careful of that as you wrap it. Once you get your wire up to the tie-in point, go ahead and secure it, and then we're going to helicopter it off. We're going to tie in our black ostrich herl. Use 2 strands here. This is a brittle material. I don't like to wrap it by itself. So once you get that tied in, we're then going to take a pair of hackle pliers and we're going to twist these strands up together. Try not to trap too many of the fibers down. Now we're going to wrap this around the thorax of the fly. You wet your fingers a little bit here and stroke those fibers back. You'll get a much better look. It keeps you from trapping everything down and building too much bulk or forcing any of the fibers forwards. Couple thread wraps over top just to secure that, and then we're going to hold it back. We're going to take a few more thread wraps. You can either cut these off close or just break them off with a little pressure. This pattern right here, and you have a pretty good caddis larva pattern. Now we're going to tie in some soft tackle hen speckled gray feathers. As you can see, we formed a V. We're not going to wrap this hackle around the fly. We are going to secure each side of that V down the side of this. Apply nice even pressure with your thread wraps. You don't want to spin any of those fibers wildly underneath or on top of the hook. Once you have that secure, come in and snip that off as close as possible. Come in with our whip finisher. We're going to put a couple good knots on the front of this. Give it a couple drops of head cement just to kind of make things a little more durable here. Oh, that's a Caddis Pupa pattern. Tie a couple up, put them in your box, try them out. Hopefully you'll have just as much luck with them as I have. And as always, get out there, get after it, and hunt the water.